Live na, ma'am.
Thank you, Ma'am Len. Okay, so now we're live now in our Pixpo page. And good afternoon, everyone. For those who are here in the live forum, yan. Good afternoon po, mga ka-Pixpro. And now, I know lahat kayo, you are very excited and know everyone is very excited for our topic. So for our topic for today is about cyber libel in a workplace, that understanding the risk and also the responsibilities. So let's just wait for our few viewers out there. Ayan, good afternoon po everyone. Yan. So currently now, yan, we are on live. Yan, kindly do share our live downstairs. By the way, the host for this session of cybersecurity is yours truly, Cheska, and also we are from Cyber Pix Pro Aurora chapter. Yan, welcome po everyone. Ayan, so while waiting for everyone, yan. So, i-welcome muna natin. Kindly do comment below if you want to shout out. Yan. We are free to mention your shout out for this afternoon. Yan, go guys. Yan. I know our topic and our speaker for this afternoon, yan, kilalang kilala siya dito sa Aurora, and we are very grateful that we have him also for today, yan. So we have been um invite invited also our special guest for this afternoon. Ayan. Before, naging speaker na din natin siya or naging guest. And now, syempre, sana wag magsawa si attorney sa atin. Yan. So, let's see. Yan. So, currently now, we are now on a 13. Yan. Shout out po, ayan, from, hi, shout out po kay Sir Angelo Cariel, yan. Hello po, good afternoon. So, our topic is very, talagang, we need it, especially in our professional lives and our uh, personal living, yan. We most commonly share our personal lives through using social medias. Yan. So, ngayon alam natin kung paano ba natin malilimit pa sila by having our topic for this afternoon. Ayan. So, let's see. Ngayon alam natin kung paano ba. Okay, so, yan. Currently now, also, everyone, ayan, so, ayan, shoutout po sa ating mga taga Pix Pro Aurora. Ayan, currently, if you do have time to visit, yan, our very beautiful province, ayan, visit po kayo sa Baler, Aurora. Yan, dito sa Aurora province, yan. So, masaya po dito, ayan. Okay. So now, ayan, let's wait for other more yan, viewers. Kindly do share our live. Yes, of course. Yan, let's just wait for other viewers. Okay. Sige, habang tayo nagwe-wait pa ng mga ibang viewers natin online. Okay, so I think we should start. Ayan. So, since our topic for this afternoon, ulitin ko ulit, everyone, guys. So, our topic for this afternoon is about cyber libel in the workplace. That is understanding the risk and also the responsibility. So, alam nyo ba ngayon, so as our professional, like what I said earlier, personal lives increasingly merge online. So, the lines between what acceptable and not acceptable online is what we do have is, especially when it comes to expressing ourselves digitally. So, hindi na abstract yung concept lang na ito, ayan. So, they are really risk affecting our careers. So, our companies and even our personal reputation. So, now, Pero syempre, hindi natin ito gagawin mag-isa. So we are very privileged to have with us ang ating special guest and renowned, our legal expert, Attorney Patrick Angara. So thank you, Attorney, for joining us today. Yan, andyan na si attorney. So, but before we dive in our topic, so I want everyone to remind na pagkatapos ng session, you will be having our certificates and stay tuned hanggang sa dulo. Ayan, learn our verbal insights to our cyber libel. And also, so let's start by talking about the current situation regarding the cyber libel in our workplace. So, alam ba natin kung ano yung mga rapid digital transformation as exposed employees and also employers to various online threats. So can you imagine how much information is being exchanged through emails, chat, group chats, social medias, ayan yung mga group chats na na-expose, yan, personal opinions, work-related discussions. So here, even sensitive company information. So all of this is very inadvertently, ayan, led issues to cyber libel and also not handful. So before I start, let me introduce to you our guest speaker for this afternoon. Okay, so here So, syempre, ako na din. Kasi tayo lang to. So, tayo na din mag-introduce sa ating speaker. So, Attorney Patrick Angara is a dedicated legal practitioner, an educator, and a passionate advocate for social justice and community empowerment. A graduate of Juris Doctor program from San Beda University, Manila, and proud alumnus of the University of Santo Tomas, where he earned his bachelor degree in political science. So Attorney Angara has built a career deeply rooted in service, leadership, and excellence. So currently, he serves as an attorney at law at Notary Public at his own law office, and also the first vote of our congratulations attorney for board member here in Aurora, specializing in also in criminal, political, and civil law. So his work extends far beyond the courtroom, providing free legal services to the farmers, fisher folk, tricycle drivers, senior citizens, solo parents, indigenous people, and also other marginalized sector. Attorney Patrick Angara also plays a pivotal role in grassroots organizing policy development and legal education for local government units and non-government organization. He also served the legal consultant for the municipality governments of Dipakulaw, San Luis, and Dingalan in the province of Aurora. So as well as the Liga ng mga Barangay Aurora chapter. So in collaboration with the Department of Interior and Local Government, DILG, and the Social Welfare and Development Offices of Aurora, the PNP of Aurora, and various faith-based organizations, he play a pivotal role in training and capacity development program. So this initiative focus on human rights, protection, and conflict resolution, equipping barangay office law enforcers, and community leaders with necessary skills and knowledge to handle cases involving children's and women rights, human rights, and other matters of community welfare. Through these efforts, he demonstrated his dedication to fostering a deeper understanding of legal and ethical responsibility among local government units, law enforcement, and community leaders, ensuring the protection and promotion of fundamental rights within the community. So as an educator, he taught also history, political science, ethics, and public administration of Aurora before in the Aurora State College of Technology. He's also mentor young leaders as a co-advisor of the political science organization. So beyond his legal and academic endeavors, Attorney Angar is a champion accessible legal knowledge through the radio program of Batas at Comunidad, which aims to bridge the gap between the law and the people by fostering awareness of legal rights and responsibilities. He has received numerous awards for his outstanding contribution, including the prestigious Doña Aurora Youth Leadership Award and recognition from local governments for his invaluable legal services. Today, Attorney Angara bring with him not only his extensive knowledge of Philippine laws, governance, and politics, but also his unwavering commitment to community empowerment. We are privileged to hear from someone whose passion for public service and dedication to the rule of law truly inspire. So let us welcome our resource speaker for this afternoon is no other than Attorney Patrick Alexis Angara. Hi, Attorney!
Hello, Cheska. Thank you po sa
Hi.
introduction. Tsaka na lang manglilibreng merienda siguro.
Thank you,
Syempre
Attorney.
po sa ating mga Kapix Pro, it's good to be back. I think before election, yeah, we had the talk on online campaigning. Now, we'll focus na sa isang katulad ng sabi kanina ni Cheska, it's an issue that we must be able to understand, especially on our part, lalo po sa lugar ng trabaho kasi most of our lives aside from being at home or at school later on, majority ng araw natin ay nasa lugar ng trabaho. So, we will try to discuss everything. Then magkakaroon po tayo ng open forum. I would just like to explain first yung mga concepts para alam po natin yung differences ng mga ito. So, I'll just share my screen. Uh, So, our topic for today is cyber libel in the workplace, understanding the risk and responsibilities. So, yung mga legal basis po natin dito ay yung revised penal code, specifically articles 353 and 355, but we will also discuss a portion of Article 354. Then, of course, Republic Act number 10175, or also known or mas kilala po siya bilang Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. So, this is the basic outline of our discussion for this afternoon. Una, alamin natin ano ba ibig sabihin ng libel. Ito ba, kunyari yung kapitbahay mo, siniraan ka, sinabihan yung isa nyo pang kapitbahay na may masama kang ginagawa pero wala. Matuturing ba yun na libel? Or is that another crime? At syempre, alamin pa po natin yung cyber libel in relation to Republic Act 10175, and especially our main topic, yung cyber libel in the workplace. Ano yung mga risk if medyo may mga activities tayo na dadaan dito o magagawa, at syempre yung responsibilidad natin and how to address the issue of cyber libel. So, una po dapat nating maintindihan ngayong araw ay yung ibig sabihin po ng defamation, o ito po yung tinatawag nating libel or slander. Kanina nung tinanong ko, yung sinabi ko po sa inyong example, kung ikaw ba, siniraan mo yung kapitbahay mo, sinabi mo, ito, nagnanakaw siya. Nagnanakaw si kapitbahay A natin. Sinabi mo kay kapitbahay B. Would that be libel? No. Is that defamation? Yes. As according to Article 353. Pero anong krimen siya specifically? That would fall under slander or oral. Kasi oral mo sinabi yung paninira. So but the general concept of defamation, ito po ay tumutukoy sa isang pampubliko at malicious na imputation, meaning may sinasabi ka, may kinakabit ka na issue na characteristic sa isang tao. It is a public and malicious imputation of a crime. Sinasabi mo na ang isang tao ay gumawa ng isang krimen, na siya ay merong bisyo, vice, o meron siyang defect, whether yan po ay totoo o imaginary, at o ang isang tao ay gumawa ng isang aksyon o may hindi siya nagawang aksyon o mission, may isang kondisyon, status o sirkumstansya na nagtutulak o magdudulot ng dishonor, discredit, pagka-discredit at contempt laban sa isang natural na tao o juridical na tao o person rather, to blacken and or even to blacken the memory of one who is dead. So ano po ba ibig sabihin ng defamation? Ito basically sa madaling salita po ay paninira. Na ikaw ay may sinasabi na ang isang tao ay gumawa ng isang krimen, merong defect, meron siyang pagkukulang, meron siyang mga aksyon o sa sirkumstansya ng buhay, kahit totoo o hindi, na ito ay magdudulot ng kasiraan ng kanyang reputasyon. At take note po hindi lang po ito sa natural na tao. So hindi lang po tayo, pwede rin po sa mga korporasyon, sa mga kooperatiba. So sabi po ng batas ay juridical person. At hindi lamang po ito in terms of natural na tao o natural person, hindi lang po ito para sa buhay. Kasama din po dyan yung mga patay ng tao. Kaya kunyari, may mag-post, sabihin natin sa Facebook, sinisiraan niya yung tatay mong patay na. Pwede niyo pong protektahan yung reputasyon at pangalan ng tatay niyo sa pagsasampa ng isang defamation case. So yan po ay alinsunod sa sorry, Article 353 ah, ng ating revised penal code. So ano po ba yung libel in particular? Ang libel po ay tumutukoy sa mga paninira na ginawa sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat o similar means. Kanina po, defamation. Ang under po ng defamation o paninira in general ay libel at slander. Ang slander, ginagawa po orally. Ang libel po sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat o similar means. Alinsunod po sa Article 355 ng Revised Penal Code, ang libel po ay ang mga paninira at sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat. So kasama po dyan yung printed, lithography, engraving, radio, phonograph, mga painting, mga theatrical exhibition, cinematographic exhibition, or any similar means. So ano po yon? Yung mga dyaryo. Ikaw may pinadala kang sulat na na-publish. Meron ka pong in-engrave sa isang pader na paninira sa isang tao, in-announce mo sa radyo na may kasiraan yung isa mong kakilala through painting at kahit po sa mga sine o palabas. For example po, in the recent events na nangyayari sa atin, yung uh, movie ni Daryl Yap, kinasuhan siya ni Vic Soto dahil yung pelikula daw, yung trailer na nilabas para do sa pelikulang yon ay paninira ng reputasyon ni Vic Soto na ni-name drop pa habang pinalabas yung trailer na yon. So that is a particular form of libel. Then liban din po dyan, but still, that's an ongoing case. So kailangan muna patunayan ni Mr. Soto na talagang libelous yung ginawang trailer na yon. So that's still pending. Pero yan yung sinasabi ko pong example lamang. And at the same time, sabi rin po ng Korte Suprema, yung mga paninira na nasabi while sa isang television program, that is also considered libel. So, yun po, muli, we go back to the basic meaning. Ang libel po ay isang publiko at malicious na imputation ng isang krimen, vice, defect, o in other words, kasiraan sa isang tao sa pamamagitan po ng mga sulat. So ito po yung in-enumerate ng ating batas. At sa paliwanag nga po ng ating Korte Suprema sa kasong MVRS Publication Incorporated versus Islamic Dawa Council of the Philippines Inc., defamation, including libel, means that the offense of injuring a person's character or reputation through false and malicious statement. So, ibig sabihin po, na mga uh, mapanira na mga statement po. As provided by the Supreme Court, a statement is ordinarily considered defamatory. Kailan po ba kasi natin masasabing mapanira talaga ang isang statement? Kung ito daw po ay it tends to expose one to public hatred, shame, odium, contempt, ridicule, aversion, and degradation or disgrace. So makakaapekto po sa reputasyon ng isang tao. So ano po ba ang parusa ng libel? Sabi po ng ating revised penal code as amended, ito po ay maaring ikaw ang isang tao na mahatulan ng libel ay maaring makulong ng 6 na buwan at 1 araw hanggang 4 na taon at 2 buwan. Pwede ka rin magmulta ng 40,000 to 1.2 million pesos o kaya pareho. Depende po sa diskresyon ng korte at gayon din po. In addition dito, pwede pa po magkaso ng sibil na iba alinsunod po sa torts law natin. So, ano po ba yung elemento ng libel? Ito po ay defamatory, ibig sabihin mapanira na magtudulot po ng dishonor, discredit, or contempt. meron pong malice, whether in law or in fact. Ano po ibig sabihin ng in fact? Meron pong ill refute or meron po talagang intensyon na makasira. O kaya ang malice in law, ito po sa existence mismo nung statement na sinabi o sinulat rather, in this case dahil libel ito, ay kitang-kita na po na merong na malicious yung post or yung uh, publication ng isang material. Then the third element is publication, meaning ito po ay na i-communicate mo sa iba pang tao at syempre po identifiable yung person defamed. So, ito po yung usually naging issue sa libel cases. Kasi minsan, 'di ba, o lalo sa lugar ng trabaho, may mga post patama lamang pero hindi niya ni name drop. Madalas tinatanong sa amin 'yan, attorney, ito pong katrabaho ko, parinig ng parinig sa Facebook. Di naman po niya sinasabi pero marami pong nakaka-identify na ang tinutukoy niyang tao ay ako. Pwede ko po bang kasuhan ng libel yung naturang tao o cyber libel? In that case, maaari po basta kailangan natin mapatunayan na identifiable, meaning ikaw yung particular na tinutulong doon. So, tinutukoy doon. So, ito po ay ayon sa case ng Yuchenko versus Manila Chronicle Publishing Corporation. So, para po matetermina natin kung ang isang statement, lalo po nakasulat ay defamatory, kailangan po usisain natin yung kabuuang sitwasyon. Sabi po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Labaran versus People, ito lang po inilabas noong December 6, 2023, to determine whether a statement is defamatory, the words used in the statement must be construed in their entirety. So kabuuan po titignan mo, hindi lang yung specific, hindi pwedeng eagle-eyed ka na doon lang sa post na yon. Kailangan tignan mo yung circumstansya nung pagkaka-post noon. So kailangan mo ipakita o matignan yung plain at gamitin yung plain, natural, or ordinary meaning ng mga salitang ginamit that would be naturally be understood by a person reading them. So yan po ang importante. Hindi po natin kailangang ungkatin pa ng masyado yung mga hidden meaning ba dun sa salita. Tingnan natin at i-appreciate yung mga pinost na salita o statement in their plain and natural and ordinary meaning. So, as provided by the Supreme Court, it must be stressed that the words which are merely insulting are not actionable as libel or slander per se. Mere words of general abuse, however ill-natured, vexatious, whether written or spoken, do not constitute a basis for an action for defamation in the absence of the allegation for special damages. The fact daw po na offensive. So hindi pwedeng lahat naman sobrang naman sa kasuhan mo agad ng libel. Tawanan mo lang, nag-comment ka ng pagtawa, kakasuhan ka na agad ng libel o kaya po ay uh, na-offend ka o hindi ka lang natuwa sa mga salitang ginamit, ay libelous na agad. Sabi po ng Korte Suprema, mere insults are not actionable as libel or slander per se. Kailangan po tingnan natin yung overview o yung overall circumstance nung sitwasyon. So, yung unang elemento po ay yung sinasabi nating defamatory. Yung pangalawang elemento ng libel ay yung tinatawag nating malice. Sabi naman po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Diaz versus People, every defamatory imputation is presumed to be malicious. Even daw po, kahit totoo yung sinasabi mo, kung wala namang mabuting intensyon at justifiable motive para sabihin mo o isulat mo yung isang libelous o isang statement na maaring makasira ng ibang tao, there is malice when the author of the imputation is prompted by personal ill will, spite, and speaks not in response of duty or to duty but merely to injure the reputation. So, sa mga kaso po ng libel, presume po na ito ay malicious. Meron lang pong ilang exception dyan. Pero ang presumption, malicious talaga o kumbaga, may ill will o may evil intention yung nagsasabi nito. Ano po, lalo kung hindi naman po ito kanyang tungkulin na sabihin. At ang kanyang pangunahing layunin lamang po ay makasira ng reputasyon ng ibang tao. So the author of the libelous post made such post with knowledge that it is a false or with reckless disregard to the truth or falsity thereof. Ibig sabihin po, alam nung gumawa nung statement na iyon na sinungaling o hindi po totoo yung kanyang sinasabi o kaya po reckless disregard po ng katotohanan or falsity. Kumbaga, kaya minsan po mag-ingat lalo kung madadala ka sa emosyon ng iyong sarili o ng emosyon sa inyong working environment. So that was cleared by the Supreme Court in the case of yung Chenko versus Manila Chronicles Public Corporation. So what else? Publication. There is a publication if the material is communicated to a party, katulad po ng binanggit ko kanina. Sabi po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Manila Bulletin Publishing Corporation versus Domingo, a case in 2017, it is not required that the person defamed has read or heard about the libelous remark. Simply put, in libel cases, publication means making the defamatory matter after it is written known to some other than the person against whom it is been written. So yung publication sa libel cases, kung iyan ay sulat, may comment ka sa itsura o ginagawa ng isang tao na hindi totoo, pinarating mo sa ibang tao na hindi sa iba pang tao, yun po automatic may publication na. So mere communication po, lalo in libel cases, the publication of the document or the statement. At syempre po yung huli sa kaso pong Lastimosa versus People 2022 case, the Supreme Court ruled that in order to maintain a libel suit, it is essential that the victim be identifiable. Although hindi naman daw po necessary pinangalanan, pero dahil po dun sa mga statement na nilabas ay mapipinpoint mo kung sino talaga yung taong iyon. So, katulad po na nabanggit ko kanina, meron pong ilang exemptions dito po sa para masabing hindi libel yung sinabi. So ito po yung tinatawag nating privileged communications under Article 354 ng ating revised penal code. So matuturing po na hindi libelous kung ito ay private communication made by any person to another in performance of any legal, moral, or social duty. Yung sinabi mo yung isang bagay na maaring makasira sa reputasyon ng isang tao, whether totoo po yun o hindi, di ba ba? Pero kaya mo ito sinabi para dahil po sa inyong tungkulin, legal man yan, moral or social. At liban pa po doon, yun po yung mga private communication. The other form of privileged communication is fair and true report made in good faith without any comments or remarks or of any judicial, legislative, or official proceedings which are not of confidential nature or of any statement, report, or speech delivered in said proceedings or any other act performed by public officers in the exercise of their functions. So, ano po yung ibig sabihin nun? Fair and true report made in good faith ng pagbibigay po ng point of view mo patungkol sa ginagawa ng isang ahensya ng gobyerno o pampublikong opisyal. Kaya ito po, lagi po natin pinapaliwanag sa pagbalanse. Kasi minsan po, mga nagkakaso is mga public officials or public employees na sila daw po dahil nakomentan or nagbigay ng feedback o kritisismo patungkol sa kanilang trabaho ang isang pinaglilingkuran nila dahil ayaw nila yung kritisismong yon, kinakasuhan nila ng libel. Sabi po ng Korte Suprema, bilang mga pampublikong opisyal, bilang public figures, hindi tayo pwedeng balat sibuyas. Kailangan pakinggan natin yung mga sinasabi patungkol lalo sa ating mga trabaho, patungkol sa ating pagseserbisyo. So, kailangan po fair and true report made in good faith, meaning talaga pong pagpaparating ng walang malisya, walang layunin ng paninira, ngunit pagtatama lamang ng ating mga gawain. So, yun po ang libel. Now we go to the larger concept or main concept now is cyber libel. Ano po yan? The unlawful or prohibited acts of libel as defined by Article 355 by the Revised Penal Code as amended committed through a computer system or any other similar means which may be devised in the future. Yan po ay alinsunod. Ang definition po ng cyber libel, alinsunod po sa Section 4C, item number 4 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Tanda ko po noon, nung naipirmahan po ito ng Pangulo, question po ito no, sa Korte Suprema. Sinasabi it's a suppression of the freedom of expression ng mga taong bayan. Gumawa daw ng bagong batas o bagong krimen ang ating Kongreso sa pamamagitan ng cyber libel. So yung tanong, isa sa mga tanong doon sa kasong yon, is it a new crime? Bagong krimen po ba ito at maapektuhan po ba ang freedom of expression? Sabi po ng ating Korte Suprema sa kasong Dicini versus Secretary of Justice, this was promulgated in the year 2014. Uh, Section 4C, Item 4 of Republic Act 10175 itself shows that the law did not intend to create a new crime. Hindi daw po bagong krimen ang cyber libel, but it merely enforces the provisions of the revised penal code on libel. Under Section 6 po kasi ng Cybercrime Prevention Act, it merely makes the commission of the existing crimes through the internet as a qualifying circumstance. Ibig sabihin po, ang binibigang tibay ng ating cybercrime prevention law ay yung mga paggawa ng krimen sa pamamagitan po ng mga computer systems, ng internet, ng teknolohiya. So wala pong ginawang bagong krimen, pero binibigyan diin lang po na mas bigyan ng parusa yung mga gumagawa ng krimen sa pamamagitan po ng mga internet, sa pamamagitan ng internet or ng ating mga teknolohiya katulad ng mga computer systems. And ito po ay nireiterate ulit ng ating Korte Suprema sa kasong Kausing versus People noong 2023, which it held that the cyber libel is not a new crime because of Article 353 in relation to Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code. Pinaparusahan na daw po ito. The offense under Section 4C, Item 4 of Republic Act 10175 and is a felony under Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code ay one and the same lamang. Parehong elemento at nadagdag nga lang po yung elemento po na ginawa yung krimen sa pamamagitan ng technological advancement and internet. Ano po. So, at the same time, may nagtanong po sa amin, Attorney, for example po, yung kaklase ko, o sorry, yung katrabaho ko po, may ginawa siyang sulat, nagsusulat siya sa isang yellow pad. Sinasabi niya na nagnanakaw ng pondo natin si employee A. At yung letter na yon, yung sulat na yon ay pinasa po niya kay employee B. Tapos, ang ginawa pa po nito ni employee A, ay nung gumawa ng sulat, ay pinost pa po niya ito o in-email pa niya ito sa iba pa nilang katrabaho. Yan po ba ay may tuturing na separate libel cases? Sabi po ng ating Korte Suprema in those cases, hindi po siya pwedeng i-separate sa isa't isa. One cause lang po yun. Hindi pwedeng final mo na same act. For example, dun sa case na binigay ko, may sulat kamay akong papel na binigay kay employee A. Sabi ko, nagnanakaw si employee B. Tapos pagkatapos nung sulat na yon, in-email ko pa rin sa kanya. So yan po ay parehong cyber o libel lang, but it will qualify as to cyber libel. Hindi mo na siya kakasuhan ng cyber libel at libel pa. So ano po ba yung parusa? Sabi kung ikaw naman ay nagsagawa ng cyber libel. Sabi po ng Section 6 ng ating Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, 1 degree higher. So kanina binanggit na po natin. Ngayon, pag cyber libel ang ginawa mo, ikaw ay mapaparusahan. Maaring maparusahan ng 4 na taon at 2 buwan na pagkakakulong hanggang 4 na taon, 2 buwan at 1 araw na pagkakakulong hanggang 8 taon. Ano po? So, 4 years to 8 years ka maaaring makulong, depende po sa discretion ni judge. Liban pa po dyan, ikaw pa po ay maaaring pagmultahin o magmulta ng 40,000 to 1.5 million. O kaya pareho po, depende po sa sasabihin ng korte. But the Supreme Court, in the case of People versus Soliman, an April 25, 2023 case, clarify ng Supreme Court kasi naglabas po ng Supreme Court ang Korte Suprema ng Administrative Circular Number 08-2008 guidelines in the observance of a rule of preference in imposition of penalties in libel cases. Also, sabi po, it also applies to cyber libel. So, the court, meron pong preference na kasa po parusahan pa ng pagkakakulong ang isang tao sa libel o cyber libel, ang dapat na lang daw pong ipataw ay multa. Pero again, preference lang po ito. Depende pa rin po sa discretion ng judge o ng korte na ipataw po ang pagkakakulong. Ano po? So hindi po kasi pwedeng i-rewrite yan. The court emphasizes the application of administrative uh, circular number 08-2008 does not remove the imprisonment as penalty for cyber libel. So, ang mga elemento po ng cyber libel, again, pareho lang po nung na-discuss natin kanina sa libel. It is defamatory, mapanira. It was done maliciously or there is an ill intent na gawin ito, ill will para gawin ito para masiraan ng iba. Ito ay must be given publicly by mere communication to another person and the victim must be identifiable. At ang in addition there too, sabi po ng ating batas at ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Manila Bulletin Publishing Corp versus Domingo, the imputation must have been done through the use of a computer system or any other similar means. So, dito po, cyber libel, now, alam na po natin yung concepts. Now we go to the discussion, especially in the workplace. So, tayo po, alam ko lalo minsan kahit dito sa Aurora, nakaka-experience tayo in ang workplace, iba yung dynamics ng mga tao. Merong mga factions, merong mga okay naman yung kanilang pagtatrabaho sa isa't isa. So now, we have to learn. And ang pakiusap talaga dapat, lalo po those in government, is we must be professional. Whether kagalit na kapitbahay mo yan o kagalit na kamag-anak mo yan, pagdating sa trabaho, dapat po trabaho. So, according to the Department of Communication and Technology o DICT, 83% of Filipinos are users of internet. Ito po ay ayon sa isang article na nilabas po ng Philippine Star noong June 4, 2023. So makikita na most Filipinos, majority, an overwhelming majority, ay gumagamit po ng internet. So technology and the internet play a vital role in modern workplaces by enhancing communication, productivity, and efficiency. With the use of digital tools such as emails, messaging apps, and video conferencing platforms, employees can communicate and collaborate in real time, regardless of their physical location. This is an article released by the World Economic Forum in 2020, The Future of Jobs. And also during the pandemic, 'di ba? Diyan po na-enhance yung paggamit po ng Zoom, paggamit ng mga conferencing apps. The technological advancement and internet has enabled the rise of remote and hybrid work arrangements, allowing teams to remain connected and productive even outside the traditional office settings. Pero aside from the being productive part, nadyan din nga yung mga interpersonal relations natin with one another. So cyber libel in the workplace poses a serious risk both in the legal and organizational sense that it can affect the individuals, yung mga teams, yung mga grupo, and even the reputation of the entire company. Kung nag-away-away kayo, nagsisiraan kayo isa-isa, tapos magkakasuhan pa kayo ng marami, so makakaapekto lang yung hindi sa mga basta-basta sa individual. Hindi lamang doon sa mga teams, but also talaga lalo doon sa productivity ng ating kumpanya o ng ating pinagtatrabahuhan at lalong-lalo na sa reputasyon pa nito. 'Di ba? Cyber libel in the workplace poses risks, both legal and organizational. So, kasama po dyan yung pagkakaroon ng toxic work environment, pagkakaroon po ng mga breach ng company policies. Kasi supposedly, in the advent of other laws, including Anti-Sexual Harassment Act, the Safe Spaces Act o Bawal Bastos Law, and dapat na doon po yung paggawa ng respeto sa bawat uh, katrabaho mo. In cyber libel, ikaw, sinisiraan mo yung mga kapwa mo. Ano po? So, yun, maaari pa mag-breach ng mga company policies, lalo na nagiging unprofessional ka. And that may be grounds for dismissal as provided in the labor code. Then, at the same time, yung productivity loss, kasa okay kayo, dahil siraan ng siraan, nag-aaway-away, hindi nagiging epektibo ang ating pagtatrabaho at nagkakaroon pa tayo ng legal liabilities. So, ano po ba yung mga dapat responsibilidad natin patungkol dito para maiwasan ang cyber libel? For the management, Kailangan natin mag-implement ng clear anti-cyber libel policy in the employee's handbook o sa ating company policies. Nandyan yung procedure, ano dapat yung pamamaraan ng pagre-report at pagko-correct ng mga gantong behavior, ilang beses pwedeng gawin. This is an internal process, ha? Pwede pa rin pong magsampa outside our management or other our workplace or company. Pero ang suggestion po is just to maintain the peace and the productivity of the company or the workplace, kailangan may clear-cut guidelines tayo patungkol sa pag-address sa cyber libel, especially among employees or within the company. So, nadyan din yung disciplinary actions. Ah, Kailangan po magbigay tayo ng regular training on digital communication ethics. Kasi minsan, 'di ba tayo pa sa mga kawork natin, lalo pag naka-close, minsan may mga statement tayong alam natin biruan. Kasi maririnig mo sa tono, inside joke nyo ba o whatnot. Pero once you put it through email, through text, through the Facebook, through the group chats, through the GCs, maaaring maimba yung interpretation dyan. And dapat may proper ethics tayo sa paggamit ng ating communication means. So, kung ito ay GC patungkol sa trabaho, dapat GC patungkol lamang sa trabaho. And nadyan din po, kailangan mag-conduct ng fair and confidential investigation when yung mga issue ng cyber libel. So, hindi po pwedeng may favorites. 'Di ba? Equal protection before the law. Lalong-lalo po sa management level. Then at the same time, encourage a respectful digital culture, especially in group chats and remote settings. Samantala, sa ating mga empleyado o mga workers, kailangan mag-practice tayo ng digital etiquette at i-avoid ang online rants and gossips, 'di ba? Kikita mo yung mga katrabaho mo, may konting issue lang nasa Facebook na. Sana dapat inayos na lang internally, pero lahat kailangan niyang i-rant sa Facebook o mang-chismis pa siya through online means. Then i-report yung cyber libel incident sa human resource and manage or kaya sa management immediately. So dito, importante po kung gusto mong protektahan hindi lamang ang iyong sarili, pati po ang kaayusan ng inyong kumpanya. Kasi tandaan nyo po, kung hahayaan po natin ang kapwa nating tao ay panira lang ng panira, walang mangyayari. Parang silent ka lang, sige, hindi naman ako involved. Pero kung ikaw ay nanatiling nananahimik, ikaw ay parte ng problema kasi pinapayagan mo sila. And we should be aware o made aware of the what constitutes defamation and its legal consequences. Kaya ito, maganda po may seminar tayong ganito o may talk tayong ganito para malaman po natin. So, how to report? Marami po tayong mababasa online. Sabi rin po ng maraming mga law firms na nagbibigay. Ito rin po payo, how to report cyber libel. Screenshot natin, screen recording natin yung mga posts. Yung URL, i-copy natin, yung www. Yung website number, yung website address. Dahil sabi po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong RCBC Bancard Services Corporation versus Oracion Jr. in 2019, yung affidavit of evidence executed by a person who has direct personal knowledge. Kasi ang hirap po sa cyber libel, post ngayon, pwedeng delete agad, di ba? So dito, kung mayroon na po mga nakabasa, kailangan makuha natin yung mga statement nila. So, sa pagkolekta ng ebidensya, pwede rin po tayo tumulong o maghingi ng assistance sa PNP Cybercrime Group and the NBI Cybercrime Division, lalo kung unknown violator, troll, fake accounts. Nung eleksyon, ang dami pong ganyan, puro peking account, puro anonymous post. At syempre po, maghingi ng warrant sa mga korte. So, this an article or suggested way to collect evidences or to report released by Divina Law. It was published in the Daily Tribune. Where to file? So internally, meron po tayong internal mechanism. Depende sa company policy. But if you want to go out, you can go with the PNP, Cybercrime Unit or NBI, then also with the prosecutor's office. Pero hindi na po to dadaan sa barangay. Tandaan nyo po, cyber libel, hindi po yan covered ng barangay, ng katarungan pambarangay. Diretso po kayo sa prosecutor's office. Kailan po tayo dapat mag-file ng isang complaint para sa cybercrime? Lalo po sa cyber libel. Sabi po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Kausing versus People, it is within a year from the discovery of the crime. Hindi po 12 years ang prescription. Ang prescription period po, yan yung panahon o meron ka pang karapatan para magsampa ng kaso patungkol sa action na yon. At nilinaw po ng Korte Suprema sa kasong Kausing versus People na ang cyber libel cases must be filed within a year from discovery of the crime. Not posting. from the discovery. Kunyari po, today is June 27, 2025. May nag-post po, nagsabi, si Attorney Patrick Angara sobrang pangit, masama ugali, etc., etc., etc. Pero ito po ay na-discover ko lang yung post na yon 2 years from now. Wala na po ba? Hindi ko na siya pwedeng i-file? Pwede pa rin po. Kasi ang sabi po, within a year from discovery. So kung ma-discover ko siya ng June 27, 2027, pwede ko pa po siyang i-file noon. Pero pag lumampas na from 1 year from discovery, hindi na. So, yun lang po. Dapat mayroon tayong mga paalala, lalo po sa company. There are risks to this. Kaya hindi po pwedeng masyadong sobrang marites, sobrang emotional. Kasi we have to be professional in the workplace. And there are laws, and hopefully, in your workplaces, meron po kayong internal policies to address these problems. Pero kung wala, we have the courts to deal and discipline uh, our what we call this, office mates or workplaces. Then, for ano lang po, invite ko lang po agad, nabanggit po kanina, our radio program Batas at Komunidad, magre-relaunch na po kami by July. Still airing in 4 radio stations in Aurora. But also, in-invite po namin kasi marami po tayong Pix Pro members. Our program Batas at Komunidad will be airing in other provinces na po. Sa ating bansa through Radyo Pilipino. So, yun po. And also, if you have any questions, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman po yung ating free legal consultation. We're trying to answer as much na pwede nating tulungan ng mga tao. Na dito po yung ating official Facebook page na Attorney Patrick Pat Angara. So, thank you po, thank you. For any questions po ngayon.
Wow, thank you so much, attorney. And tama ka. So, understanding the cyber level isn't about just legalities. Ayan, it's about being us, a responsible digital citizenship. So, our organization is very open to that kind of having this kind of topic, 'di ba? Very napapanahon siya, especially sa atin. Ayan, ang dami nating mga nakikita online na mga group chats na nagli-leak ng mga conversation, yan. And then sinasabi nila, magkakaso na ganyan. At least we know now how and paano ba natin to maipuput into legalities or na legal complaint din. So, 'di ba, grabe. So, ang dami pa lang pwedeng gawin to improve our digital responsibility in the workplace. So now, ayan, meron po ba tayong questions in our live? Yan, tingnan natin. So from our live, yan, let's see. So meron po ba kayong mga questions from our guest speaker for this afternoon? Yan. So, attorney, meron akong ano dito. So, while waiting for the others to ask questions, so sabi na, so paano naman daw, attorney, sabi, how can companies protect themselves from cyber libel cases, initiated by employees or former employees? Yan. So, for example, sila yung naman yung company na parang gusto nila i-protect yung kanilang
At
sarili
sarili.
dun sa mga
So, well,
employee nila.
in these cases po, if someone is filing, correct me if someone is filing a cyber libel case against the company or merong mga nakikitang post si company na mapanira patungkol sa reputasyon niya.
Yeah, something
That's
like that,
that's that
attorney.
that's
Yeah.
with that in mind, pag ganung case, meron tayong workplace kasi let's be honest, hindi naman lahat ng we cannot please everybody, 'di ba? Merong aalis, merong may bad relationship or not only with the work yung mga coworkers na even with the management lalo. So in that case, pwede pa mag-file as provided by the law under Article 353 of the Revised Penal Code in relation to Article 355 and the Cybercrime Prevention Law, pwede mag-file yung company mismo ng libel, cyber libel laban sa dati niyang empleyado na naninira sa kanya. Basta na matunayan na nandun yung mga elemento na ito ay defamatory statement, maliciously ginawa ito po ay publicly. So there's publication already. Pinost niya sa Facebook, sinend niya sa GC, sinend niya sa email. That is a publication kasi ang sabi nga ng Korte Suprema, basta ma-communicate mo siya. Then it is done through na identifiable yung kumpanya. Kunyari, sabi niya, doon sa dati kong pinagtatrabahuhan na ganito. For example, hindi enough yon. Kung that statement lang, yung dati kong pinagtatrabuhan, ano yung dati mong pinagtatrabuhan? Baka kasi marami. So, sabi nga ng Korte Suprema, you have to look at the entire picture. 'Di ba? So, kung sinabi niya, ay, yung dati kong pinagtatrabuhan na IT company, yung dati kong pinagtatrabuhan na school, na inalisan ko lang, o yun, hindi man niya ni-name drop yung corporation, yung company, eh, identifiable directly to you, to other persons, yung paninira niya. So, yun po, companies may file cases. Although they are not natural persons like us, but they are juridical persons. So, yung lalo po sa mga kumpanya, yung tinatawag nating goodwill, yung reputation po ng kumpanya. Yung ibang companies, bumabagsak dahil nasisira ang reputasyon ng kanilang kumpanya. So, they have every right to file a, a cybercrime case under our existing laws.
Wow, yan, 'di ba? So they could be able to protect themselves by
Yes, yes.
filing also a cyber libel. Okay, so another one, since wala pang nagtatanong sa atin. So ano nga, what are the common examples of online behavior in the workplace that could be considered a cyber libel and how we can avoid them daw, as attorney?
So, usually naman,
Yung
papalo
mga
yung
common na
sa,
na-encounter
sa
natin.
mga chismis
Oo.
yan, ganyan.
Yeah, yeah,
Yan,
yeah,
si
yeah.
ganito kaya lang na-promote kasi ginawa yung ganito. Si ganyan, nagbayad ng ganito. So, yung mga ganyang statement, that is libelous, lalo pag lumabas na sa GCs. And take note, kahit sabi mo po kanina, we would like to clarify this. There are defenses for cyber libel cases and even libel. So dapat truthful, wala kang hindi malicious and it is done in good faith. Pwede siyang privileged communication as I've discussed earlier. Pero hindi rin po pwedeng ito ay illegally nakuha mo. 'Di ba? So kunyari, hinak mo yung account na nakita mo yung mga posts, tapos saka mo final, hinak mo yung account. That is a violation of right to privacy. 'Di ba? So under the data privacy law, nabanggit mo kasi kanina paano yung mga GC na nagli-leak. So yan nagiging question ngayon kung meron pong mga violation. So therefore, kung in good faith nakuha yung yung screenshots and etc., pwede. Pero pwede siyang gawing depensa na illegal na nakuha. And under the data privacy law, lalo kung ikaw, for example, nilik mo yung GC nyo na dapat kayo-kayo lang, breach mo yung tiwala sa'yo ng mga kasama mo doon. But at the same time, pinost mo sa Facebook, for example, kasi yan naman yung pinaka-common place na pinaglalagyan, identifiable yung mga kasama dun sa GC. So for example ako, 'di ba yung screenshot, 'di ba may bubble head. Tapos makikitang picture ko talaga 'yon. So dahil doon nakita, na-identify ako. Although mali yung ginawa ko, which is pwede pa rin ako maparusahan. Kunyari may pinopost ako doon mapanirang mga bagay. Yung nag-upload nung screenshots, maaari din makasuhan. Kasi directly na-identify ako. Meaning may mga personal information ako na nakita doon sa screenshots. So, yan yung mga naging issue. And even the National Privacy Commission, naglabas sila ng legal opinion or advisory patungkol doon sa mga ganong issue that it may violate data privacy, the Data Privacy Act. So, yung mga ganun. So, we have to be safe. So, yung mga wiretapping din, for example, illegally na-record. Meaning, ang wiretapping po, hindi lang yung sa telepono na yung dati, di ba kasi linya-linya landline. Oo. So,
Oo.
na yun, may mga cases po dyan na wiretapping. Kung illegally nagre-record ka ng hindi, walang pagpayag nung nire-record mo. So, pag mga ganun din, may makakasuhan ka din. At it is not admissible as evidence kung magpa-file ka ng mga cyber crime cases. So, yun lang. Just to be clear, we have to be responsible enough para sa pagharap po ng mga gantong issue, lalo po sa lugar ng trabaho. Pero bottom line po, it's a matter of pagbibigay respeto sa isa't isa. Minsan magtatanong, attorney, paano po yung co-office mate ko may ginagawa talaga siyang mali? Kailangan ko sabihin sa boss namin. So, in-email ko yung boss namin, ni-report ko. Biglang may nakabasa pa nung email ko, cyber libel na po ba yon? As provided by Article 354 of the Revised Penal Code, hindi. Kasi privileged communication siya. Private communication ng isang tao na may pinarating siya na isang impormasyon na maaring makasira nga sa ibang tao. Pero dahil ginawa niya ito, dahil ito ay kanyang obligasyon. tungkulin legal, moral, o kaya social duty niya, iyon po ay hindi maituturing na libelous. So, yun naman po yung mga usually technical eh. Technical lalo dito po sa cases ng workplaces. So, yung mga nagtatrabaho naman sa government, again, sabi po ng Korte Suprema, hindi tayo pwedeng balat sibuyas. Kung may mga kritisismo, fair na mga comments yan patungkol sa ating trabaho, kailangan natin tanggapin. Ano po? So, ah parte po yan. Kumbaga, we lose part of ourselves pag tayo po ay pumapasok sa pampublikong opisina bilang opisyal o kaya empleyado. So, we have to be, uh, ma, 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 we must be critical not only of others but ourselves in that sense.
Wow, yan. Thank you, attorney. Very, di ba guys? That's a free consultation. Nakita nyo na.
Ay, hindi po, may papadala po akong billing sa
Oo.
inyo. Lahat po na nanonood.
Okay.
Hindi, biro lang
Eto,
po.
attorney, napakaganda. This is the question for our live. So, sabi niya, question, paano naman po pag nag-review sila sa Facebook page ninyo, which is business po yun? Kumbaga, puro pangit paninira dun sa business. Consider ba siya na cyber libel yun?
If it is false and if it is maliciously made, again, parang magfo-fall kasi yung sabi ko nga po sa inyo, privilege communication in that sense. Or kaya fair comment talaga siya to improve our business. So, doon maaring hindi po siya ma-counter, depende po sa sitwasyon kung ma-prove nyo na maliciously ginawa. Meaning, paano malicious? Ibig sabihin, plinano po talaga nilang sirain yung negosyo mo.
Mm.
May intent talagang silang sirain. Hindi lang siya yung basta, ay tinikman ko yung, for example, yung pagkain nito, talagang hindi masarap, kinoment ko, baka po pwedeng improve nyo yung ganito, kulang po sa asin, masyadong ma-oil, etc. Eh,
Yeah.
that's a fair comment, 'di ba? Pero pag dumating sa point, ayaw ko tong negosyo nitong taong to. Magko-comment ako ng kung ano, sisiraan ko talaga. Kailangan malugi siya para karmahin siya, ganun ganun. That there is malicious intent. Therefore, you can file a cyber libel case against that person. So, yun nga po, very tricky nga siya, lalo po sa cyber libel. Even ako po personally, this past election, so doon ko naranasan na, ay, grabe yung mga tao. Tapos, they were using anonymous participant. Di ba may ganung setting na
Mm.
ngayon sa Facebook
Oo.
groups?
Mm-mm.
So, parang lahat na. Masama daw ugali ko, may kaso daw ako, ah, namimili daw ako ng boto, yung mga ganun. Sabi ko, walang basis eh. So now, dahil third party na nagtatago sila, hindi ko sila directly ma-identify kung sino. Although
Mm.
we were able to get the URL, screenshots, ngayon ifa-file namin sa PNP para to actually get. So, yun lang po, medyo hassle siya. Lalo kung hindi po nyo kilala kung sino yung nagsabi. Pero the thing is, sabi ko nga po sa inyo, pag pinayagan natin sila na gawin ito ng walang consequence para sa kanila, lagi po nilang gagawin to at mag-aabuso po sila. So, we have to, marami po tayong karapatan sa ilalim ng batas, sa ilalim ng saligang batas ng Pilipinas, but we have to fight for these rights as well. We must protect them.
Yes. Thank you, attorney. Actually, yan mga issue na yan currently lalo na yan sa mga vloggers na nagigive ng feedback regarding dun sa mga businesses na yan. Yan yung usually nangyayari sa atin
Aha,
ngayon.
aha.
So, it's great now na we have you to discuss this kind of matters, attorney. Ayun, thank you so much, everyone. Yan, for those questions na meron pa. Okay, so last question natin before we end our session for this afternoon. So, sabi niya, what if employee to another employee inside the organization po? Sino po ang magsasagawa ng initial action then na nakapost na po sa online?
Well, again, you can go directly to the courts. You can go directly to the prosecutor, as well as the PNP or NBI in that sense. Pero you can file directly, sabi naman po nilinaw ng korte ng DOJ na pwede kayong dumiretso sa piskal. Hindi nyo naman kailangan to basta may sapat tayong ebidensya, yung mga affidavit, screenshots. That's your right. Pero yung in terms of workplaces lang, if there is an internal policy within the company, within the institution, you may follow that. Pero yung internal policy yon, that does not mean na wala ka ng option outside the company. Meron pong existing under our laws, and just for the purpose of maintaining proper decorum within the company, pwede pong magkaroon ng internal policy. Siguro yung next question, attorney, kunyari po, sabihin ng management, wag namin i-file within the walang correction o final po pero wala nangyari within the institution, within the company, kung dun sa workplace nyo, you can still file sa prosecutor. You can still file the case in court. So, hindi po kayo nawawalan. May internal mechanism, pwede, under policies. Sabi ko nga po, pwede siyang matanggalan ng trabaho kung nakalagay sa internal policy ng kampanya. Or kung hindi po galawan ng kampanya, you have the courts to be your recourse to protect your right.
Yan. So, thank you, attorney, for that wonderful session. And also, before we end our session, we would like to give you a certificate of appreciation. Yan. So, let me share it. This one. Okay. This certificate of appreciation is presented to Attorney Patrick Alexis Sangara for gracing the kwentuhang cybersecurity with the topic of cyber libel in the workplace, understanding the risks and responsibilities as its resource speaker on June 27, 2025 from the time 5 o'clock to 6 a.m. via Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live Sign. Chairman of Founding President of PixPro, Mr. Angel Redoble. Ayan. Thank you so much, attorney. Ayan. So, uh, like I said, yeah. So what a great session, everyone. So we learned so much today about the vital role that understanding the cyber libel plays the empowering our workplace and especially our communities. So thank you, Attorney Patrick, for sharing your insights with us. And thank you so much. Huwag ka magsawa sa amin, Attorney,
Opo,
ha,
sa
for
ulitin, sa
sharing this
ulitin.
kind of legal advices sa atin kasi this is very important, especially sa ating community right now. Yan. So, ayan. So, dun po natatapos ang ating session for this afternoon. Ayan. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng watch sa live natin. Ayan. And the online viewers. Thank you so much for tuning us in. You can check our certificate. You can check on our comment section. Ayan. For your certificates. Ayan. So, thank you everyone. Thank you, attorney. Thank you so much
Thank you
po.
again. Salamat po sa lahat na kinig.